on Getting Higgy with It. Guten Abend, Jungen, macht ihr mein Panzer? I'm Emily Duhigg, and we're reviewing Rivet Wars. Rivet Wars is a two-player or two-team game where you play as either the Allied or the Blight Force. It comes with 9 double-sided terrain tiles to compose various battlegrounds. Each team has 19 high-quality stylized miniatures of Rivet soldiers and vehicles with a stat card for each. Action and secret mission cards, markers, a tracking tile, dice, and a rulebook containing mission scenarios round out the set. The stat cards contain all the information needed to get familiar with the units and make the best choices on the battlefield depending on your strategy. Each round consists of 5 phases. They are card, deployment, combat, movement, and wrap-up. In the card phase, each side either draws or discards 1 action card or draws up to 2 secret mission cards. A maximum of 3 action cards or 2 secret mission cards are allowed in a player's hand at any one time. If you're maxed out, you don't get to draw. Action cards will state when they can be used during the game. Mission cards are turned in once they are completed. This gives you 1 star or victory point on the tracking tile. Once you've reached the number of victory points required for the game scenario, you win. In the deployment phase, each side takes turns placing their units. Battlefield terrain tiles are marked with a grid. The 2 closest rows to you is your deployment zone. Depending on the mission scenario chosen for the game, you get a certain number of deployment and rivet points per round. Each unit stat card shows how many deployment points and rivets it costs to be activated. Unused deployment points may not be carried over to a later round, however, rivets can accumulate over time. Once units have been deployed, players enter the combat phase where the commander, that's you, will activate your units 1 grid space at a time. The commander chooses one of its units to fire on a specific target within range. Some attributes allow your units to fire multiple times or hit multiple units in one shot. If multiple units share the same grid space, attacks must follow the grid target order. The attack block on your unit's stat card will show the number of attacks that unit can make per turn. Comparing the target's armor type to your attack block will determine how many dice to roll when attacking. An attack hits if any of the rolls results in a 5 or 6. A hit deals 1 point of damage to the target regardless of the number of 5s or 6s rolled. If a unit is killed, it goes back into your reserves and can be deployed again in a later turn. Next up is the movement phase. A unit may be moved according to the move or boot icon on its stat card. For example, if the boot has a 3 on it, the unit may be moved 3 grid spaces. It may only be moved diagonally once per turn, and it cannot enter any grid already occupied by an enemy unit. However, it may be moved into a grid that contains 3 or less friendly units. On their way across the battlefield, units can encounter minefields, barbed wire, and tank traps, which could have been preset according to the scenario or placed later by players using their action cards. There are also strategic objectives and bunkers to move into. One major strategy is to take control of these strategic objectives or checkpoints because these give you star points. And finally, it's the wrap-up phase. Here you'll be checking to see how many victory points you have earned. You will also want to check to see if you have achieved victory conditions set for the scenario being played. Rivet Wars comes with 10 scenarios. If you finish them, there are also scenarios online at the Rivet Wars website. We'll put the URL in the description below. What do we like about this game? The style of the figures and the artwork are extremely well done and visually appealing. It's an interesting take on a war theme that is different from what we're used to seeing. The teams are well balanced in their abilities, so whether you choose to play as the Allied forces or the Blight forces, you'll have a good game experience either way. What don't we like about this game? The mechanic is very back and forth and doesn't feel very strategic. But on the positive side of this, future expansions are said to feature new units such as planes and heavy artillery that will have hardier armor and enhance the dynamics of the game. On our top 10 list of games we reviewed, we're putting Rivet Wars at number 3 because all in all, while Rivet Wars is one of our favorite games in terms of aesthetics, we wish the gameplay had a little more depth. On our board flip meter, Rivet Wars was easier to pick up than we had expected. We were up and running within the hour, so with that, it registers at normal. This week, thanks to our friends at Cool Mini or Not, we have a treat for you. We're giving away the special character Treasure Hunter Rivet to one of our subscribers that shares this review. We will announce the winner in a week. Good luck! As usual, like, subscribe, favorite, the whole shebang. Thanks for watching. I'm Emily Duhigg, and until next time, get higgy with Rivet Wars. Can I have this shirt?
You really wanted that one?
Yeah, I don't know. It can go either way.
Did you just fart?
I might have.
She's no lady.
Oh yeah. You fart and just go like, ah.
That would not be on a blooper reel.
I fart.
That was really funny.
Disgusting.
I thought that was really funny.
That's just rude.
That's really funny.
You're definitely
Wait,
not.
your eyes are all watery. You look like you've been
I
crying.
know, oh my god.
You're definitely not a lady now.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody poops, everybody farts.
Just when they fart. That's